Rainy Tuesday morning here. It's gonna be an interesting Tuesday. So, it's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and my team was on me a bit about doing more content, live streams and webinars and things like that. So I decided to put up what I'm calling office hours later today. It's going to be at 4 o'clock Eastern. If you have any questions about about taxes, about business, about meaning of life, anything, Q&A, totally open Q&A. I've got a bunch of people who ask me questions regularly, so I'll be covering some of those as well. But if you hop on the stream, it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on LinkedIn. You can join in there. So should be fun. I haven't really publicized it at all, which is kind of a problem. Kind of fell down on that side of things, so we'll see who shows up. But it's going to be an alternating cycle. So every other week we'll do an office hours kind of thing, where people can just jump in and ask questions or just listen, whatever works for you. And then alternating with that, so there's going to be more of a content kind of webinar. So like the next one is going to be on tax issues with partnerships, and we'll go into a little bit of just business lessons with partnerships, because I've seen a lot of partnerships and I've seen a lot of them fail. So one of my favorite phrases is that a partnership is the only ship that doesn't sail. So you definitely have to be really, really careful when it comes to partnerships. And the same thing applies to JVs, joint ventures and things like that. So even syndications, if you're in real estate, same kind of rules apply. But we'll get into all that later. So yeah, we will see how that goes later today. Hopefully I'll still be awake. Got about 4 hours of sleep last night, and it's a daily issue for me. But it's one of those things where the quality that you experience in life is sort of like a chain, and your chain is only as good as its weakest link. So if you have 3 areas of your life that's going great, does that really make up for a 4th area that is not going great? Not really. So it's important to raise the level across the board and strengthen those chains. In fact, maybe the chain is the right metaphor, because I've seen like spider maps and stuff where you'll have like different dimensions of a scoring system. Could be anything. Trying to tease out degrees of freedom, and degrees of freedom are important. If you've never heard that term before, it's in math and engineering, we used to, back when I was in engineering, we used to talk about degrees of freedom in terms of a system, in terms of how many different ways can you have independent variation. So I was in electrical engineering back in college, and so you could have systems responses that change depending on voltages, which would create different behaviors and things like that. So if I change this thing over here, how does it change that thing over there? If I change this third thing in a different part, does that change the overall output? So are those two things dependent on one another, or are they independent? So if they're independent, they become degrees of freedom. So how many different ways can a system change independently? So your life has relatively few degrees of freedom, and I think that's worth thinking about. And because everything is connected to everything, so maybe that's not the right metaphor to use. Maybe the chain works better, because you'll have like a chain of finances. You'll have a chain of work. You'll have a chain of family. You'll have a chain of other relationships, or a chain link, I should say. And if one of those breaks, then it kind of ruins the rest of it, even if other things could be going well. So like for me, it's been health, and I'm doing my best to fix a lot of it, but there are ongoing issues. So when that chain was totally broken, and I was bedridden for a while, then it doesn't matter any of the other stuff. I mean, it's great that it was there. It's great that my investments were continuing to generate income, because otherwise I would have starved. So I'm glad that I had that strong chain, that strong link in my chain to support the rest of it. But it didn't really make life any better. Maybe you could argue that life would have been even worse. I don't know. Something we're thinking about. So we'll be thinking about the is it a chain link, or is it a degree of freedom? It's something to keep considering. Anyway, it is cold and it's starting to rain, so I'm going to go inside. But I like doing these daily thought videos. I think they help me kind of tease out things as I talk, because none of these are planned. It's just talking off the cuff. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.